Namaskara, good evening, everybody. My name is Ramesh. And I'll be your host for the Satsang, the Spiral of Wisdom Satsang today. And before we continue, may I request Swati to say the school prayer.
Good evening, everyone. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. And it brings me great joy today to introduce our speaker, Krishnamurthy Jayanna ji. Now, what is interesting for me personally, good evening. What is interesting for me personally is there's an aspect of synchronicity here because it says Heartfulness Meditation, and there's a group, another satsang group that I associate with. We are actually growing collectively, and we are translating what we have experienced in the heart space, heart-mind consonance area into our real life. So we really talk about the same area. But to introduce Krishnamurthy ji, Krishnamurthy ji is a physician, a public health specialist, and a researcher based in Bangalore. His interests revolve around quality of care, quality of life, and well-being amidst others. He has experienced working in the context of many public health challenges in India and Africa, and continues to support many public health and global health initiatives as a senior advisor, board member of several institutions of national and international repute. Krishnamurthy ji has been a volunteer of Heartfulness Institute, a meditation trainer, and is a practitioner over 25 years. He is part of a research team that investigates benefits and the benefits and effects of heartfulness practices. He is also an advocate of yoga and natural living. Very interesting. So he's got a keen interest in the scientific exploration of integrating modern medicine with meditation, yoga, and Ayurveda. And that has led him to establish the Center for Integrative Health and Well-being for a few years ago. Here, he and his team provide training and coaching to individuals as well as institutions towards embracing an integrative lifestyle for holistic well-being. He's also published a book to inspire and support people in adopting an integrative health and well-being lifestyle. Very interesting, Krishnamurthy ji. Really looking forward to hearing what you have to say today. So over to you now. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you so much, Brother Ramesh. And I think it's a great initiative. The School of Ancient Wisdom is organizing. I heard there have been 200 such Thursday sessions, satsang sessions, bringing in speakers from a wide variety of backgrounds and all in relation to our tradition. Great joy to the School of Ancient Wisdom, and I think a lot of us out here in Heartfulness Institute, I think, are actually in that pursuit to advance the science and practice of ancient wisdom. And thank you for accommodating me, I think, hosting me, and I can see there's a lot of interest in meditation and yoga. As I was going through the website, I was really impressed with the kind of facilities and services, and I would look forward to visiting you all sometime and see how we can collaborate and take these pursuits forward. What I've planned today is about a 15-20 minute brief, I would say, a session on Heartfulness meditation per se, and followed by about 20 minutes of experiential session as well. Brother Ramesh, should I have, can I share my presentation?
Oh, please do.
And how is my audibility? Am I clearly audible?
Yes, sir. You're completely clearly audible, and I have given you the co-host access, so you can share the screen.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And while you're doing so, I can see there are many new names over here. So I would like to say that this is called the Spiral of Wisdom. It's started by the founder, Mahamanize, at the School of Ancient Wisdom. And many of us have been seekers for many years. So this school is really a space for transformation of people from around the globe. So yes, over to you, Krishnamurthy ji.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And all those who are coming for the first time to this session, I think some of you should visit the website of School of Ancient Wisdom. I think I found it very fascinating. And friends, I think this evening, I think the topic of our discussion and beyond the discussion, maybe some experiential session is about Heartfulness Meditation. And just to give you a brief about, I represent primarily Heartfulness Institution today, and it's a global nonprofit organization present in over 150 countries. Headquartered, its global headquarters is in Hyderabad. We offer simple, free of charge, art-based meditative practices through a wide network of over 60,000 trainers who are all volunteers like me. And in addition, Heartfulness Institute offers many integrative health programs, including yoga and other wellness initiatives. We do offer customized programs for students and teachers to corporates and NGOs with the goal of enabling more and more people to live by the wisdom of the heart. And some of us who have a research background, we work toward advancing science of contemplative practices and trying to study its effects, its implications on health, well-being, and development. I also represent a Center for Integrative Health and Wellbeing. It's a small startup based out of Bangalore. I do see some of my team members are here as well. The focus is on health and well-being, as well as education. Again, bringing the blend of modern and traditional wisdom. Yeah, just to give you a brief, I'm sure meditation is not a new term for any of us. And at the same time, we do see there are many connotations, many different definitions, many different types of understanding. And commonly, I think we do come across these terms. Meditation, often we equate it with contemplative mind. Meditation, the purpose is to regulate the mind or the control of a thought. Often, I think the idea is to concentrate on one thing versus the rest. Of course, there are also other nuanced understanding in terms of meditation is supposedly to improve awareness, make us more conscious living individuals, be more mindful. And of course, if we Google out, I think it's even more confusing, the wide variety of understanding and the definition and the scope that there is already. I think if we go back to the traditional wisdom, I think one of the first efforts to codify, to give a structure to the path of yoga, I think sage Patanjali, he describes dhyana meditation as the seventh limb of Ashtanga Raja Yoga. Ashtanga is 8-step fold towards self-realization, starting with yama and niyama, essentially working on one's character, working toward removal of unwanted habits, and trying to acquire the right mindset, right character, and moving on to learning the asanas, learning the postures, both toward strengthening oneself physically as well as strengthening one's mind to be able to prepare for the mental and spiritual pursuits. The fourth step he describes as pranayama, the focus being regulating the breath, and through the breath, the very life energy itself, the prana of that gives life force to an individual. With these 4 steps, we move on to what he describes as pratyahara. By now, mind is sufficiently trained, and through the mind, we can withdraw the senses and take them inward. So first 4 practices involve working on the outside to be able to interiorize the mind and the senses. And then we move on to the 6th step of dharana. By now, we have achieved a steadfast concentration, steadfast focus. Dharana comes from a word thailadhara, where oil, when is poured, there is no break between the drops. It's just continuous and steadfast. That's the kind of concentration that he refers to as dharana. Then they move on to the seventh step, that is dhyana. By then, all the preparatory six steps help us to be able to meditate, to be able to shift our awareness and bring it onto a particular object of the dhyana, of the meditation. Once the mind is absorbed in the object of meditation and we reach samadhi or absorption or union with the object of meditation. So he beautifully describes, and of course there is many more uh, texts and works around Patanjali's Raj Yoga, including the works of Swami Vivekananda and P.V. Deshpande and many, many others. So just to let you know, I think dhyana has been so very old as a term, and it has its rich philosophy and practice and science around it. With this understanding, we move on to the artfulness meditation. I think artfulness meditation is based on the Raja Yoga. There are many different types of yoga: the Raja Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, the Jnana Yoga. Raja Yoga integrates all the three, and supposedly Bhagwan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says it's sort of a king of all the yogas because it integrates the Bhakti, Karma, and Jnana, and helps us in all-round development and in a faster spiritual expansion, faster expansion of consciousness as well. So artfulness meditation has roots in these Raj Yoga, but then simplified and modified to suit the needs of the modern day family older like you and I, those who are living in families, in societies, in community. While we have our duties that we discharge, again, we should be able to seamlessly integrate the artfulness meditation. And that's where this whole simplification and modified Raja Yoga is offered as artfulness today. Why do we refer to as artfulness? Because the heart is the object of meditation. And how do we, when we meditate, we close our eyes, we suppose a thought that the heart is filled with the divine light, and we're attracted to the source of that divine light within one's heart. I see a very similar on the website of School of Ancient Wisdom. I see the torchbearer and the reference to the light, and I think I found such strong resonance there between artfulness and School of Ancient Wisdom in terms of vision and philosophy. And the very goal of artfulness meditation is to help us achieve the total oneness with the source within. Often the mind that is so wavery, that is so scattered, it doesn't have a place to rest, doesn't have a place to rest and center itself around. And that's where the source of the light within the heart is offered as an object here. And through sustained practice, what we have experienced is we will be able to live a life that is centered in the heart, and the heart's infinite potential of love and compassion and service seamlessly flowing out in a very natural way. And our guide refers to this as the artfulness way, and to be able to learn to live the artfulness way. When more and more of us meditate and live in the heart, live around, centered in the wisdom of the heart, we will be able to create a better and brighter world. That's the whole goal of the artfulness movement. And the meditation itself in the artfulness practice is aided by a very subtle energy called yogic pranahuti, and which helps to awaken the deeper level of inner experience, authenticity, and compassion. What we have seen, even the newcomers, when they're meditating for the first time, with the support of pranahuti, they're able to go deeper and experience deeper conditions and be able to expand. And some of us as researchers, we have been studying it, and we are discovering the effects and the profound effects and impact it has on people who have even started recently. Meditation per se, we encourage seekers to practice in the mornings. We encourage them to keep fix a time, fix a place, and a posture. And what we realize is through sustained practice, we arrive at a meditative state, and the state potentially lives with us through the day, and we're able to take this state out into our daily activities. We have other practices as supportive to meditation, such as cleaning in the evenings, which involves removal of the impressions that we gather during the day. And we realize this is a very interesting detox process that happens on the conscious and the subconscious. And this detox rejuvenates us and helps us meditate better. And that's cleaning is a unique feature in the Heartfulness meditation. We have realized just the meditation alone doesn't help. It has to be complemented by the cleaning session in the evenings that helps to remove the impressions and the complexities that we gather during the day. The third practice that we recommend for a brief 5 to 10 minutes is prayer meditation at the bedtime, where we contemplate, we bring ourselves to the real purpose of human life. We remind ourselves of current state of affairs that we live in and how we can make a resolve, how we can bridge the gap, and essentially an opportunity to resolve and be able to achieve a state of prayerful yoga nidra state. And through that, we're able to sleep and carry the meditative state even during the sleep. In addition, we have individual and group sessions with trainers, weekly once or fortnightly once, depending on the time of each seeker. And just to reiterate, this whole system of training all over the world is free of charge. This goes back by the philosophy of the founder, who believed that God is everywhere and is within one's heart. To help somebody connect with a God within, we can't charge anything. And that was the philosophy and motto with which he founded the system. The picture that you see is the picture of the founder. His name is Ramchandra. He is from Shahjahanpur, UP. He set this institution in 1945. It was known as Sri Ramchandra Mission. He named it in the name of his guru, whose name was also Ramchandra, who was from, again, Uttar Pradesh, Fatehgarh. And the practice itself is over 100 years old, jointly researched and developed by Ramchandra of Fatehgarh and Shahjahanpur. And then, of course, in its present form, it's over 100 years old, but then it has been there for many more years, and there is a continuous lineage right up to 2000, 2500 years ago. It's a sort of continuous lineage of hierarchy of teachers who have supported and developed and who continue to support the practice. And current guide of Heartfulness is Kamlesh Patel, known as Daji. He lived in the US. At the same time, he had his business in pharmacy, but he also dedicated his time to learn and practice and inspire others. Since 2014, he is spearheading this Heartfulness movement globally. And in the last 10 years, he's established a lush green campus over 1,000 acres in the outskirts of Hyderabad called Kana Shantivanam, which also has the world's largest meditation hall. The picture that you see is the main meditation hall, and the 6 satellite meditation halls, all put together, can accommodate over 100,000 lakh meditators at any given point in time. I wish I could show the I don't know if I will be able to show this beautiful video. Let me try. Okay, there is some, I think I can share the link later. That should be fine.
Control might work.
Control, is it?
Yeah, control click.
Okay. Can I share the link to you, and would you be able to?
Sure, I could do that. Did you paste it in the chat window?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a moment.
There's a small, beautiful video.
So it is opening here.
Have you received the link?
Swati, can I share the screen? Do you want me to share the screen, Krishnamurthy ji?
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Ramesh.
Sure. It says host disabled screen sharing. So I
Let me
think,
stop sharing and you could share. Try now, Rameshji.
yeah, it says host disabled. I think she's only enabled your screen sharing.
Swatiji, can you enable
Swati, are you
Ramesh
there?
as well?
You could actually just click on the link yourself, probably, Krishnamurthy ji,
Is it?
because it worked immediately here. Whatever you sent me.
Link is just click the.
Yes, sir. You want any
Ah,
coach access?
Could I share the screen? Could I be given permission to share the screen, please? It's still disabled on my side.
Sir, can you please share the screen? Ramesh, sir, I have given the co-host access.
Got it. Yes, it's now working. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. I shall play it now.
But audio is not.
Sir, while sharing the screen, you have to just click on share audio, or else will not be.
Oh, sorry. Okay, are you not able to hear the audio?
No. You have to share
Can
the
you just
audio
play
as
it,
well.
sir?
Okay, I'm playing it.
It's not clear. Maybe it's okay, Ramesh. I can always share the link with the. I think probably people could take a look at it after the session.
Sure, sir. You can share the link in the chat box at the end so that
Sure.
everybody can have a look at it.
Sure. Maybe that's
Okay, shall
better.
I stop it?
Thank you.
Yes. There is poor audibility. Okay, I'll get back to my slides. Sorry about that. I'm still to learn some of these things. So that's the current present guide, and he lives in Hyderabad, travels across the globe, trying to spread the word and inspire more and more people to take up Heartfulness movement. Just to let everybody know, Heartfulness practice is available free of charge, as I said earlier, and it's people from all backgrounds are open to experience and if interested to continue. With that, what I'm planning to do now is to take all of you through an experience of Heartfulness session now for the next 15-20 minutes, and then we can have a question answer session.
Sure. Yes, please.
I would request everyone to check your mobile phones and keep them in silent mode. And maybe you could mute yourselves so there is no one is disturbed from the others. It's interesting, World 21st of December is observed as World Meditation Day, and the United Nations declared it just a few days ago. And I think this session is happening during this week. It's certainly not a coincidence, I guess. Well, let's begin now. And what I would like to take you all through is a relaxation session to relax the body and the mind, and then guide you through the Heartfulness meditation process. Please close your eyes. Sit comfortably. Breathe easy. Bring your attention to your toes. Feel the energy of the Mother Earth entering your feet and relaxing your feet. Your ankles, feel the relaxation in your ankles, your calf muscles. Relax your thighs and the back. The upper back as well. Relax your abdomen and chest area. Shoulders are melting away. The arms and the forearms are relaxing one after the other. Feel the energy passing through the fingertips and relaxing the hands and the fingers. Bring your attention to your neck area. Relax your neck muscles. Various parts of your face are relaxing one after the other. The mouth area around your nose, earlobes. Your eyes are closed softly and gently. Forehead and the scalp. And the back of the head. All of your body from head to toes is completely relaxed, like never before. By now, the mind is very calm and settled and ready to meditate. Bring your attention to your heart. Make a suggestion mentally. My heart is filled with divine light, and I'm drawn, attracted to the source of the light deep within my heart. Slowly move your awareness to the source within and rest there. You don't have to try to see anything. Simply you're moving your awareness toward your center, toward the source, and connect with it and rest there for the next 10 minutes till I ask you to open your eyes. During the process, if you encounter any thoughts, if you're distracted by any noise, which is very natural, ignore them. Bring your attention back to the source of the heart. Try to be there very gently. You can try to go inward and try to remain absorbed there. Please continue. Slowly try to conclude. Keep your eyes closed. As we come to the end of our meditation, take a moment and observe how you feel inside your heart. Are you feeling a little lighter or relaxed or calmer? Make a note of what you feel, what you experience. And then you may slowly open your eyes. You may take a moment to share or drop a text on the chat box of how you're feeling now.
It was very nice, Krishnamurthy ji. Very relaxing, rejuvenating.
Thank you,
Deep
Ramesh.
sigh.
Thank you for sharing your feedback, Ramesh. Wonderful. We do encourage practitioners to take a moment and observe and even document in a journal, if possible. What we have experienced is as we record our observations and our conviction grows, more importantly, we're able to recall the meditative state that we acquire and we can fairly achieve a permanent meditative state. Anybody else would like to share how they felt or how they're feeling now?
I had a happy feeling.
Wonderful. Thank you, sister.
In the chat window, Ramamani ji says very peaceful. Prakash ji says good. Jeevan ji says calm. Janaki ji says calm, contented.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We'll move on and maybe we can have a brief Q&A session if time permits. Some online resources for those who want to explore more, right? We have a beautiful website and this practices is available in a downloadable PDF version, Simple Heartfulness Practices. And the website is heartfulness.org. We also have an app that can be downloaded on your smartphone, and the experience that you just had, you can have it through the phone as well, and at the comfort of your time and space. All the practices, relaxation, meditation, cleaning, and bedtime prayer meditation, they're all available both in audio and video format. Those of you who would like to access a personal trainer, as I said earlier, we have over 16,000 volunteer trainers all over the world. And then there's a website again, Heartfulness Hotspots, and you can access the nearest trainer around. I will leave these resources with Swatiji and Rameshji, and they can share with their network later.
Thank you, Krishnamurthy.
Thank you. And yes, that's the last slide, and that's a beautiful meditation all that I talked about earlier. All of you are welcome, and we'll be happy to host you all at this meditation hall. And in addition to this meditation hall, there are very nice wellness services. There's a beautiful spiritual yatra garden that takes one through the entire journey of Heartfulness spiritual journey. And then many more. There's agricultural research happening. And just to let you all know, 10 years back, this was a barren land. This is just between the Hyderabad and Mehboob Nagar, in the district of Mehboob Nagar, and completely barren. But today you'll be surprised to see over 300,000 trees, completely lush, green, and rainfall as well, and even 6 to 7 artificial lakes as well. And there's a nice video that captures what it was 10 years ago and now. This is a testimony to what can happen when people come and meditate and improve the spiritual vibe. The plants and the green and the birds, they all respond, and it is such a congenial environment out there. It's worth visiting and experiencing. With that, I will unshare, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
How far it is from Hyderabad, and is there any provision to stay? And
Yeah.
can we also have facility to learn at Bangalore?
Oh, yes. Both the questions, yes. I think it's about 20 minutes from the airport of Hyderabad. It's on the Hyderabad-Bangalore highway. It's much before the Hyderabad city. And in Bangalore too, you can learn very much. There are more than 200 trainers right in Bangalore itself. And depending on the locality where you live, I'm sure you can find the trainers. And the hotspots that I mentioned, you can just type and you can find a trainer right there. On the chat box, I'll probably paste the link to finding the nearest trainer.
Thank you, Krishnamurthy. So that brings us to the end of Krishnamurthy's presentation. So if you have any questions, please do speak up. It's a very interesting topic. I have some questions, so I'm going to wait first for anybody here who has questions.
I can see there's a question by Sister Aparna. How do we plan for a meditation retreat? Oh, you can plan. I think there are regular seminars that are held at Hyderabad, and you don't have to wait for seminars. Whenever you have time, you can just go and spend a week out there. Wellness service. There are various types of accommodation, from dormitories to 3-star and 4-star, and there are also I think all range possibles that are available. And if you visit the Heartfulness website, you can also find the link to this accommodation and other facilities. And retreat services are available. There is a wellness, Ayurveda wellness, very similar to what School of Ancient Wisdom offers. You do have all of them, and with Heartfulness meditation as central to all the retreat programs. Thank you.
Any other questions? So I have a couple of questions of my own, Krishnamurthy.
Go ahead, Ramesh.
Yeah, so with my wonderful group of seekers from different backgrounds, we were going through this video of Dr. Joe Dispenza. Would you have heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Oh, right. Not really. So sorry.
Okay, no problem. Over there, there was a very unusual research, and this is very interesting for me, and I'm sure for everybody here, that the way he has explained it is in a way in which people who are enrolled by modern science can understand the impact of meditation. He speaks about, they had this experiment where they seated people and they put these nodes on various spots on their head.
That's called electroencephalogram. It studies the brain graph activity, brain electric activity. Yes, go ahead.
Brainwave patterns. Yes. So each node had one line on the graph, and over a period of time, it measures the brainwave patterns, and likewise, even a measure for the heart. So what they said was, But in the mind, when the mind is more, in a normal state, you look at a normal person, the different brain waves that come from each of the nodes had a varying pattern. It was kind of, they were not really in consonance, but the more calmer the mind was, as it entered, theta brainwaves or so on, you could see that there was a consonance of the brainwave patterns from the different nodes. And the more consonance there is, the calmer the mind is, and more peaceful it is. Now, likewise with the heart, the measurement, the heartbeat rate was much more regular. It became very regular. Now, even a person who has, say, Alzheimer's or other such ailments, when they were exposed to this kind of a meditative pattern, they found that all the wave patterns became very similar. It started becoming consonant with each other. And one more thing was, they even measured that if you look at the energy field around a person, look at quantum physics, they asked people who are in the state to start visualizing, certain dreams, certain wishes. They actually found at a molecular level, at an energy level, a change happening, which is unseen to the five senses. And that was actually measured, and it was, it was a report was published. So what they found here was that meditation does a big thing. It actually brings people's minds and hearts in consonance. And that is where I was wondering, since your community is actually in this field, when you mentioned in your presentation that heartfulness meditation, and also one more thing was, if the mind is calm, but more importantly, if the heart is full of a regular rhythm, normally it comes with joy, it comes with bliss. When people, like in Bhakti Marga, when people remember something that's really wonderful, like their sacred connection with God, their Ishtadeva and so on, manifestations actually started happening, coming true in real life. Affirmations of people started actually happening, which is what even the group that I'm associated with are beginning to experience. So my question here is, whatever you mentioned here, does your research also include something similar to this, and from a scientific perspective, which can enroll people who might not otherwise be fully fully enrolled by the idea of spirituality?
Yeah. No, yeah, quite. Yes, Rameshji, I think I can recollect a research project that we undertook in collaboration with NIMANS. And we took those who just started meditation in the last 6 months versus those who have been meditating for over 5 years. We plugged them with EEG leads onto their heads, and we did some psychometric assessments and interviews as well. What was fascinating is, though the meditators were new and fairly not very regular and settled, yet during the process of meditation, they got into such deep, calm states. We refer to as alpha state, which is a very calm state, a low frequency. Then there are delta and theta, which is almost like a semi-sleep and deep sleep state. Actually, there wasn't very much difference between those who just started meditation versus those who have been meditating for long. And that is where the efficacy of the heartfulness practice as a result of yogic pranavuti. In the very beginning, we start experiencing deeper calm states. But then we asked other questions in terms of, are they able to retain these states for long? And these meditative states, do they reflect outside in terms of positive living, life satisfaction, and acceptance? There we saw that those who are meditating for longer periods of time could exhibit those qualities. So that was very interesting when we mapped EEG versus the psychometric. On the heart rate, I think one of our cardiologists in Delhi, who's also heartfulness researcher and a trainer, he did a study on heart rate variability, which is very interesting. In the body, we have a sympathetic and a parasympathetic system. And a sympathetic system prepares us for stress. Whenever there is stress, body or biology response, it's a sympathetic system that plays. Parasympathetic does the opposite. It calms and it relaxes the body. The regularity of rhythm, the harmonization of heart rate variability is because of parasympathetic system. But today our lifestyles are so stressful. People with constant targets and timelines and multitasking, the sympathetic system is overactive, and the consonance or the resonance that you talked about is disturbed. Whereas actually meditation works on the parasympathetic system and it results in calm states. It harmonizes the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. In the process of breath becomes normal, blood supply becomes normal, heartbeat becomes normal. And yes, many studies are showing how meditation impacts the brain waves as well as heart rate variability through this sympathetic regulation. You're very right, and we have done such experiments. We continue to doing those both in India and in the US, and studies are reinforcing these findings very much.
Now, my other question is, this is something that I've come across. It's called midbrain activation. What is the benefit of midbrain activation? Because I've seen children whose midbrain has been activated, blindfolded children reading visiting cards, or they're able to see and perceive things that are there at the other end of the room, even though they're blindfolded. So what is your take on this midbrain activity, and how does it
No,
support
I think a lot of this is going on, linking it with midbrain activity, and I think there's no science there. Midbrain as such, I think, see, just to understand brain, all of us have a reptilian brain within us. What is a reptilian brain? A brain that has not evolved, that was, let us say, before mammals and human beings came into existence. What exists was a medieval reptilian brain, very reactive, very instinctive, just there for surviving, fight. And then there is forebrain or the cortex that came much later. And all of us have the gray matter and the cortex, and which is a more advanced, and mammals and human beings have. And here's where reasoning, thinking, memory, discriminating, all these cognitive activities are governed by the frontal cortex. Often the rift is between the cortex and the limbic system. Limbic system puts you on instinctive, reactive, whereas cortex put you on the responsive, thoughtful, paused. And actually, we see meditation impacts this, and frontal lobe cortical wiring increases, limbic system overactivity reduces, and you become calmer. Specifically on the blindfolded activity, I think way back in 1960s, the scientist called Paul Bacchi-Rita, who studied the blind, he recognized the brains are auto-regulated. Those who are not able to use the visual sense, they could complement or substitute it with other senses. It's called sensory substitution or sensory augmentation, because of which you start using sounds to perceive things instead of visual, because it is not that it's compensated. Some use tactile or touch to compensate for the visual sense. There's just a sensory substitution or sensory augmentation. Even the kids go through these trainings. Even in the Heartfulness context, there's a training called Brighter Minds training, where the kids are taken through certain exercises, the brain exercises, some yoga, the relaxation, and music entrainment, essentially to help the kids achieve a alpha wave state, a calm state, during which the sensory substitution and sensory augmentation potentially can happen. And the process, their perceptions become refined, they become more intuitive, they become more observant. So that is the science behind it. And at the same time, I should say, the intuition, or this is an evolving science. It's still not out there, and there's more research going on to establish. But certainly midbrain activation and this, I think a lot of linking it with magic and mystery, I think that's not quite right, and we should certainly debunk them right away.
And in the area of transformation, Bharat is now going through a very powerful period of, it's like a civilization ascent. It's opening up once again. And I think Sanatana Dharma, as we know it, which is a very sustainable system for humanity at large, because it's all inclusive, is also kind of coming to the fore. That way of life, which includes everybody, not just human beings, but even flora, fauna, and so on. Now, in this era, education actually can play a key role, especially through the education, reaching the population at large through the education of children in a more sustainable way of life. Because if you look at modern education, it is basically an offshoot of the Industrial Revolution, which is not a sustainable system, as we know now. So, in what way can we, as meditators, as seekers, is there any way to accelerate the spread of this awareness so more people start becoming aware of, you know, or start practicing these kind of sustainable systems, so that their koshas can get strengthened?
Great question, Ramesh, and very relevant in today's times. Especially, I think modern education divorced with traditional wisdom. At least earlier, a few decades ago, the joint family system allowed the transfer of wisdom from grandparents to children through the parents or directly or indirectly. In fact, often our Daji refers to this as wisdom bridge between grandparents and the children. Today, when families are becoming nuclear and isolated, the wisdom bridge is lost. Schools are busy helping kids cram facts and crack the exams, preparing them on the IQ so much more than the EQ or the SQ. That's a spiritual quotient.
SQ.
I think there's a lot to be done out there. I just like to share at least what we have been doing at Heartfulness Institute. We have come out with very customized programs for schools between 1st to 5th and 5th to 10th and beyond, and where we train teachers in helping them integrate the spiritual values within their curricula and gradually expose kids to these observation sessions, sessions of pause and reflect, brief periods of meditation and relaxation, and not just in India, but across the world. And I think we are seeing good results, but it's not enough. We do feel there is more that we need to do. And that's where I think School of Ancient Wisdom and other like-minded people and institutions should come together and do more. Need is very much there. We need to take them out, these practices to the people out there, Rameshji.
Very interesting. Thank you so much. I'm sure, I would definitely love to get in touch with you. I'd probably get your contact through Swati, or if you would like to, you could please, type in your contact details on the chat if you wish to. But it was most interesting. It is most interesting. In fact, one more question was from one of your slides. Cleaning in the evenings. What kind of cleaning would you be talking about?
Thank you for that question. I think this is a unique feature of heartfulness practice, because meditation is a very common term, and we are all familiar with meditation, but it is our research and discovery of our founder teachers that meditation alone is not enough for spiritual expansion. And because all of us, during our activities in the day, in our life, we gather these impressions. I'll give an example. Like today, you're listening to me. I'm a doctor talking about spirituality and meditation. You gather the impression about me, and that gets registered in your subconscious. After a few days, when you see me, you can recall about me, because you already have the impression within your subconscious. Some impressions are very on the surface, very superficial. Some can be very deep and permanent. And every day we are gathering these impressions, knowing unknowingly. And since childhood, we've been gathering. And then, unless we clear these impressions, we remove the impressions, the possibility of spiritual expansion to the fullest is not possible, is not available. That's where at the end of the day, we all sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, clean ourselves. We go through, again, this is a guided session like we did today for relaxation and meditation. We generally take it up in the second day and to take them through the session. And this is a very powerful session. It actually vacuumizes us, it empties us, and allows us to meditate well. And we have realized the quality of meditations get better when they get support complemented by the cleaning sessions in the evenings.
Oh, so basically it's like the cleaning of the other koshas.
Absolutely.
Which are damaged while we grow.
Yes, yes, yes.
And the most interesting thing that I learned in my son's alternative education school is that these koshas, like if you look at the Annamaya kosha, the Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya kosha, they apparently grow approximately in periods of 7 years. They coincide with the falling of the tooth for the Annamaya kosha, puberty with Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha by the time they reach about 21, and so on. So many times, since people are completely ignorant, modern education doesn't even register these multiple subtle aspects in this manner. They only look at the mind and not even the intellect as a subset or as a superset of the mind. So many times people's koshas are damaged, be it the emotional, be it the bioelectrical pranic kosha, or even the mind and even the intellect. So what happens is, instead of the intellect guiding us, our senses take over.
Yeah.
And if we can detoxify these koshas, we can actually experience non-linear education in a very short span of time. All of a sudden, a great deal of awareness and wisdom can descend upon us. So that's really wonderful.
Yes. Beautiful.
And that's what I'm getting really from what you're saying, and also from your slides. So thank you so much for opening us up to these possibilities. It's wonderful to be aware of this larger group. In fact, your ashram looks like a little garden of Eden, and I can clearly see that Prakriti and Bhumi Devi has responded to the changing vibrations there by turning it into an oasis.
Yes.
Really, I can't believe that was a barren piece of land.
And there's a beautiful video. If you go to YouTube and type Kana Shantivanam, you get to see two videos, short 4 to 5 minutes. One of them actually takes you to the last 10 years and what it was 10 years ago. It's actually, and for some of us who have been visiting it for the last 10, 12 years, we have seen it before us. And it's really amazing what we have witnessed.
Wonderful. Actually, as a side note, I must say that we have also witnessed that at the School of Ancient Wisdom, because when it started off, it was just a barren piece of land with 4 trees, and now it is another Garden of Eden.
Wow.
So thank you so much, Krishnamurthy ji, for this wonderful, uplifting session and opening us up to this beautiful community that you are, which is really doing crucial human service. May God bless you all so that you become stronger and spread this message to far and wide.
Thank you so much, Ramesh, and thanks to the School of Ancient Wisdom for organizing this. We look forward to being in touch and working together. Thank you once again, and good evening.
Yes, in fact, it'll be lovely to have a workshop with you all sometime if Swati could arrange for it in the future. A weekend workshop. We used to have these, weekend satsangs at the school.
Certainly.
So on that note,
sure. Thank you.
So on that note, we come to this note of gratitude. We come to the last part of our satsang today, our spiral of wisdom. The spiral is because we constantly grow as we seek. It's not just a circle, but an ascending spiral. That's what Mahamani would say. So, as we now come to the end of the spiral of wisdom satsang, let us all sit straight as we do the Loka Samasta. This is a group prayer. So, a collective group prayer, which is very important. It has had its impact. Please remember your loved ones, whatever healing you might want for them, be it in the area of money or health or relationships. Let us also send through the Loka Samasta healing prayers for the rest of the world at large. May peace and wisdom prevail in this time of war in many places around the world. That is really the essence. Please sit straight with your back, neck, and head aligned. Take a nice deep breath. And let go. As in a meditation a little while earlier, observe the silence within, the language of the soul, as we do the Loka Samasta. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you, everybody. And once again, thank you, Krishnamurthy Ji. So till we all meet again next Thursday at the same time, same place. God bless you and take care. Swati.